and it's frost sailing time, and that's where I want to be.
Hi, my name's Rob Sanderson. I'm the Waterfront Programs Manager for the Northwest Maritime Center and Woodboat Foundation. I've been with the organization for 5 years, started off as their head adult sailing instructor and then worked in the chandlery, and I've been running programs for 4 years. We're at the Woodboat Festival right now, the 32nd annual Woodboat Festival. It's personally my 5th festival that I've been at. My favorite time of year, absolutely. After a busy summer of programs, we wind down with an enormous festival. I run youth programs and adult programs for the Maritime Center that we're modeling after the festival, so that we're running it year-round, so that the Woodboat Festival in theory is being run 365 days a year. Our youngest program that we have is for 7-year-olds, and that's called Messing About on Boats, and it's for 7 to 10-year-old range. And that class is basically to get kids comfortable out on the water. So they're in rowboats learning to row, they're in large sailboats being comfortable sailing, they're in this boat right behind me, the Dorjan, which is a 105-year-old gaff-rigged sloop. And we get them in the boats for the week. We had 6 themes this year. We had navigators, Shanghaied, mariners, pirates, shipwrights, and one of the best ones this year was Pacific Northwest Native Americans that we got to work with, local tribes around the Northwest. They actually brought a canoe, and all the kids got to go out and paddle a canoe. They made their own paddles. It was incredible. The next step up, it's a stepping stone, so the next step up is our Learn to Sail youth program. We have Opties, Vanguard Optimists, and Vanguard 15s, and we get the kids out sailing part day for the whole week, and they move their way up from beginner to advanced. The next step for them after that is the Schooner Martha, and for 12 years old and up, they go out on a sailboat up to the San Juans. It's a 90-foot wood boat with an amazing crew, and they go sail the San Juans. After that, they get involved as they go into 7th grade with our longboats, which are right behind me over here. And every child in Chimacum and Port Townsend are now getting out on our longboat. So every 7th grader gets an opportunity to spend 3 weeks out on our longboat and doing maritime curriculum in the classroom. I'm a captain on the boat for those programs, as well as working with local high schools in the area, local alternative high schools. And those kids come on the boat year-round. And learn life-enriching skills and seamanship skills. Many of our students that have taken those programs have gone on to be captains in the maritime industry. We also have a high school sailing team that we use, the Vanguard 15s, which are the most popularly raced high school sailboat in the Puget Sound, and we travel from Portland on up to Vancouver with our high school sailing team. And then we do adult sailing programs on our Thunderbirds, 26-foot Thunderbirds, which is our favorite boat. They're very fast, they're very maneuverable, and they're very safe to learn on. They don't capsize, they are very dry boats, and we do beginner classes through advanced. We can do all levels. The Northwest Maritime Center is a maritime campus, and so we're a continuing education facility for anything maritime. We're currently working out of the Cupola House, which we've been in for many years now, but we're transferring next year, next September this time, we'll be working out of our new facility, the Northwest Maritime Center, Port Townsend, right on the bay, right behind me out here on the point. It's currently under construction. Right now, bulldozers driving around. And we'll be operating all of our programs out of there with a boat shop, a new chandlery, a conference area, but everything centered in maritime and providing access to our community to get out on the water and get educated about what they can do to play around here, get out on the water, have fun. A lot of our students will come through our programs and just continue sailing as a passion, and some will turn it around and circumnavigate the globe, but it all starts here. So how did I get to Port Townsend? I've been here for 5 years. I grew up in Virginia. I went to college in North Carolina. I was a snowboard bum for 3 years out in Crested Butte, Colorado. And I worked on tall ships after that, and I worked in the Caribbean on the Sir Robert Baden-Powell, 140-foot tall ship. I was first mate engineer on that boat. Then I went to Maine, worked on a 150-foot four-masted schooner there, first mate engineer, and then I went to the Chesapeake Bay and taught sailing there for about 7 years, on and off, in between going out to Colorado in the wintertime to snowboard. Then I went down to New Zealand and worked for the America's Cup for Oracle BMW, and I ran chase boats down there for them, power boats, think pots, and missed traditional boating. Wanted to learn about renewable energy, and I'd never, of all my travels across the country, I'd never visited the Northwest. And so I signed up for a renewable energy wind and solar design and installation class on Guaymas Island in October of '03, and it was for 2 weeks, and that entire 2 weeks it was beautiful, and I decided I was going to stay, and I've never left since then. I ended up apprenticing on Whidbey Island for 8 months for a solar company over there as they grew. Became an employee of them, and every time I coiled a rope after installing a solar panel, I desperately missed traditional boats. And I had my captain's license since 2001, so I wanted to return to that. And so I came over to Port Townsend because where I lived in Whidbey, there was nothing going on for people my age. And so I'd jump on the ferry and come across to Port Townsend, and still never considering it as a place to live. I came and got my maritime fix over here, but didn't know what opportunities existed. I headed south in May of '04, and not knowing where I was going to go. I was on my way down to Baja to do a little surf trip, went to my sister's house in San Francisco, got on the computer, and just for the heck of it started Google searching everything I love. So I got on Google and I typed in skiing, surfing, snowboarding, sailing, traditional maritime, and sustainable living, enter. And every time I did that in different patterns, Port Townsend Northwest Maritime Center came up. And I thought, you know, I never even considered it. Here it's in front of my face. I used to walk the beach on Whidbey over here every day wondering where next. And meanwhile, I had been looking at it the entire time. It was right in front of my face. And so I contacted the Northwest Maritime Center and Woodboat Foundation. They had a position open as for a head adult sailing school. I took over as head adult instructor, moved to town, lived on my van on the point, and then ended up buying a 38-foot sailboat that is now my home, that I live on with my 12-year-old dog, Miles, and love it, and I'll never leave. This is my home.
And that's where I want to be. We set sail all the way, and that's where I want to be. We set sail all the way, and it's off to sea with me. We set sail all the way, and that's where I want to be. We set sail all the way, and it's off to sea with me.
When ashore, Patrick Kearns. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much, too. Very nice, very nice.